All right, guys, this is Norvellcentral coming back at you with another YouTube video. And at this time of the recording, I have about 1,600 subscribers. So I really do appreciate all the love and the support. I believe me and Chris Frazier did a video recently. It's gotten a lot of views lately. If you haven't checked that out, it's about Florida State potentially being transferred you. I think it's a very interesting topic, and I think we did a really good job on that. But let's go ahead and start on the topic of the video. Defensive back this season has been kind of a weak point, I guess you could say, for Florida State. It hasn't really necessarily been a strength. Now, there have been some bright spots, like Renato Green being very successful. You got Jarian Jones, Jamie Robinson. Amarian Cooper kind of disappointed a little bit. Kevin Knowles had his moments, and, Akeem Dent had his moments as well. It just kind of depends on how you look at this season. And when you're looking at the whole internal thing, you got Florida State that's got KJ Kirkland, four-star safety that's committed. You also got a guy like Jabril Rawls, who is actually from the Pensacola area. He's a three-star cornerback. And then you also got Quindarius Jones, who is another three-star safety / cornerback situation there. So you have three members of your defensive back that are there, and you're trying to add more. Now, on the official visitors list this week, you had guys like an Edwin Joseph, who I talked about before, crystal ball to Florida State, is a three-star athlete out of Chaminade. This is a really good get for Florida State. They're able to do that. He's very good friends with Hakeem Williams at this point. I think it could be a guy that Florida State really, really likes. The biggest thing with this is Devontae Brown, a cornerback transfer from UCF. He is a guy that Florida State really likes. They offered him early on as soon as he entered the transfer portal. And he also has a younger brother and four-star cornerback Damari Brown. He's out of American Heritage High School. I think that could also be a guy that Florida State really likes. The biggest kind of situation in this is with Conrad Hussey, the four-star safety commit out of Penn State. That could be a situation there also. He's from St. Thomas Aquinas, and this is a guy that Florida State's been wanting to get on campus for quite some time, and now this is his first official visit, even his first visit since June. So he really tried to come in, and I think Mike Norvell really set that really good. You got four cornerbacks visiting this week, plus you have three that's already committed. I don't see any of those guys getting out of the class at this point because they've all been kind of locked in. And plus, on top of that, they're coming in for next weekend for visits, for an official visit weekend. So, man, Florida State, when you're looking back at the depth chart, especially at the defensive backfield position, you got McClellan that is going to be out because he's a redshirt senior. You got Jamie Robinson that might be out also. He might be going to the NFL draft at that point. He's kind of hinted that way, but he hasn't made an official announcement yet. You got Akeem Dent, who I think is probably going to be coming back as a redshirt senior. I think that could be important for him. Jarian Jones, talking about the battle's end, the new NIL collective. He actually just signed recently, so that's pretty good signs to tell you that he is coming back. He also made an announcement that he is coming back as well. Could be a very good reserve piece or even a starter at nickel or one of the outside spots. You got Renato Green that also did the Battles in NIL collective partnership as well. He's going to be a senior also. Travis Shea, we're kind of up in the air with if he's going to go, if he's going to stay, what's going to happen with him. Greedy Vance is going to be back. Sidney Williams had actually declared that he is going to the transfer portal, so he will be leaving possibly after the bowl game. Don't think any of those guys have left just completely yet. I think they're going to get some tape on there to kind of see how other teams kind of view them. You got Demore Tate. He's still kind of up in the air too. Fans kind of speculating one way or the other, but he's still on the roster and hasn't announced any intentions right now. Amarian Cooper is still going to be there for next season as a junior. Could be very big for him. Kevin Knowles, another guy as a junior, I think could be really big. Shaheem Brown, this is a redshirt freshman that's going into a redshirt sophomore year that I think could elevate himself to a starting safety role. Will that become kind of the norm with that? You got Sam McCall, who entered the transfer portal. He's going to be going elsewhere. And then you got a guy like Azaria Thomas at the cornerback position that's coming into year two, think can really be a big factor at one of the quarterback spots and can kind of push for a starting job, kind of like what we thought about this past season. But Renato Green's kind of taken that spot at number one cornerback. Every spot on the rotation is up for grabs. But I will say that Renato Green is probably the most complete defensive back that we have right now. He's the most solid tackler in space, can cover really well, and had times where he was beaten, faced with adversity when he talked about his recent video with Jeff Colhane. But he did actually respond to that and have a pretty good year for most standards, especially at Florida State. Now you're looking at the rest of this group. I mean, you've gotten a couple of guys that are coming back. You're adding more guys, and now you're completely flipping that room. Is defensive back a strong point for this team next season? I definitely think it could be. If you even get, let's just say you get Damari Brown, you also get Devontae Brown, both the brothers, and you get Edwin Joseph, man, that could be scary because I think Edwin Joseph can also play a wide receiver. Very close friends, like I said, with Hakeem Williams. Could see him being a wide receiver at some point in that terms, but I think his skill set better suits him to be a safety or a cornerback. But just overall, I think Florida State is having a very good thing because they eliminated kind of the weakness that they have at the cornerback position and safety position. They're getting more depth at all of that. And plus, they are playing at a 4-2-5 defensive scheme. So it is good to have those cornerbacks and talented cornerbacks as your depth pieces and being able to elevate as starters. And they like to rotate a lot of those guys in. I think it's very important to continue that number one pass defense in the ACC and get a number one pass defense in the ACC next year as you try to compete with Clemson with no divisions and hopefully going to be able to get to that dream destination of being in the ACC championship and competing for playoff spots as we go through the near future. Not going to try to speak like a Miami fan because I understand the limitations of this team and they have to understand how to win. And that 3-game losing streak in the middle of the season has been kind of lunkering down on this team, and they had to figure out a way to respond. They responded in a big way. Now, can they react and be able to get back to a positive manner in Florida State football, 11-1, 12-0? Can they be able to do that? That's only time will tell. But Florida State is impacting on a big official visitor weekend. I think it's very important for Florida State to take advantage of this because they do need to get better in their recruiting class as well as to take 6 or 7 transfers. I think it can be very big for Florida State going forward if they were able to get some of these defensive backs. And I am entirely grateful to see how this Florida State staff ends up before national signing period on the early signing day is December 21st and how these guys are going to react for the rest of the season. But I hope each and every one of you enjoyed the video. Be sure to like the video, comment your thoughts, subscribe to the channel. It is completely free. I'm trying to bring out these consistent videos each and every day. But I hope each and every one of you have a great rest of the day. And as always, go Noles.